cut it through the middle. Aotearoa for three.
No mai, hoki mai, talofalava, bulawinaka, maloelele, namaste, ni hao, konnichiwa, and welcome back to the 5th Annual New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament 2025. We are live from the National Hockey Centre here in North Harbour for finals day of the tournament. And we finally get to see the best teams collide and battle for the opportunity to lift the Champions Trophy this afternoon. If you're looking for the ultimate excitement, silky skills, plenty of goals and high-stakes games, you're in the right place because this is Heritage Hockey 2025. I'm Brad Pittman and joined in commentary for this game by Jazz Ma from the New Zealand Māori side. Jazz, back for the final. Rough one for you girls this morning going down in a bronze medal match, but good to have you here.
Yeah, good to be back. Surprised you let me back.
Hey, it's always fun here up in the commentary booth in our final game for the weekend, the last one, the last dance as it is here for Heritage 2025. It's the women's gold medal matchup between New Zealand Pacifica and the New Zealand Asian women's teams. Now the New Zealand Asian side, they had to do it the hard way via a penalty shootout victory over the Punjab Warriors yesterday, while Pacifica had secured their spot in the final with wins over the New Zealand Indians and the New Zealand Māori teams on their way here. As we see the teams come off the field, there's Bella Holt representing Pacifica, and there's Shane Garcia representing New Zealand Asian. A couple of local players here from Auckland and from counties suiting up for this final matchup. And as the teams going through their final preparations, there's Lorna Charlick in the middle for Pacifica, of course in their purple and white singlets. Cool to see the goalkeepers in their new white tops there, looking very sharp. And there are the Asian Dragons in the black and red of Southern and representing this weekend. So big matchup. It is the final one. The Asian side, they're undefeated, 2 wins and a penalty shootout win, while the Pacifica ladies, they've had 2 wins and a penalty shootout loss on their way here. That loss coming to the Fiji Heritage side, who recently won their final matchup. So exciting times here. Jazz, what do you like in this one? I know you're favouring the Pacifica side, but what are you looking forward to?
Obviously, you got the likes of like Julia King in that playing through. I'm excited to see how she attacks. And you got Zoe and Hallie and Tulin up in the Pacifica team. They all seemed pretty in the zone when I spoke to them before the game. So excited to see what they pull through. Yeah,
and there's no stage bigger than this. You can see the crowd has grown to its peak there. Cool to see the Punjab Warriors just in the top of the screen there in the light blue tracksuits. They're looking sharp. But a big crowd out here. They just celebrated the Indian men picking up the gold medal in the men's section, going back-to-back here at North Harbour. And the teams, they'll go through their final coin toss there. It is Hallie Skara for Pacifica on the right and Isabel Ng for the Asians on the left. And I'm just trying to figure out which way the wind's going and who wants the ball. And it all looks a little tentative to start between the two captains. And they'll come out onto the field here. We've got a packed North Harbour Stadium. The balcony's filling up. The bar is always full. And everybody here to watch this women's grand final. Out they come. It is the teams. Thumbs up from Shane Garcia. And smiles across all of the teams. Again, Pacifica in the purple and the Asian Dragons in the black and red. And just having a look through some of the lineups for the two teams here. We've seen these players play a few times over the weekend for Pacifica. You mentioned a couple of the names there, Zoe Takamara, Haley Skara, Tulin Pritchard, who've been impressive. I think Queenie Blacklock has been excellent in goal as well. And look for Bailey Newman using a bit of speed going forward for the ladies in purple. Now, on the other side of things, slightly shorter card, and it's been the flavour of the weekend for the Asian side. Not many subs. They've got as far as 4 on the bench for this game. But look for the likes of Julia King, Jess Ellis. They've been fantastic. Shuku Morimoto in goal had a big one for the Asian side, including that shootout win yesterday. Local Harbour goalkeeper. And our referees in the middle have their final handshake. It's David Oakley and Bevan Nicol.
Shuku went to the wrong side.
Yeah, Shuku went to the wrong huddle. Thought she was a Polly there for a second and just remembered. No. Back to the Asians goes Shuku. They only have one goalie, so they'd be short out of luck if she had gone the other way. As we hear the Pacifica ladies and cheered on by the crowd. You see them there. Mirage Blakelock pretty pumped to have some supporters.
I think those Pacifica boys are in the front row over there again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not sure how much of their mental state they still have, but they're out here and loud regardless. And it would be huge here for Pacifica if they can get the win, but a pretty talented Asian Dragon side. They have to get through, as there is Zoe Takamata, recently named in the New Zealand A women's side, a select team to head over to China later this year for an international tournament there. And it will be the Asian team with first use of it. And here we go, first free hit falling the way of Pacifica. Here is the captain, Hallie Skara. Interestingly there, Tulin Pritchard started at the back for the Pacifica ladies. Often seeing her exploits up the front, but perhaps just aware of the full press the Asian Dragons like to play in and giving them a little more flexibility out of the back here. Interesting change there, Jazz.
Yeah, it's definitely not something I've seen before from T, but I mean, she's got a good tackle on her, so I don't see why they wouldn't put her in there.
Yeah, and really for, I guess, the first time, as we see a lovely ball here through to Hallie Skara, she puts it on the reverse. For the first time, really, seeing this Pacifica side playing in a back 4 outletting shape, with Lorna and Tulin playing either side. They've traditionally played with Lorna out the back as a deep fullback, deep pivot. Like I said, this Asian Dragon side live off the high press, so maybe something that they're trying to do to counter that high press is Julia King puts one on a dot for Shane Garcia, puts her hand up in acknowledgement. Come to see that a few times this weekend, haven't we, Jazz? Julia King, one of the best on her reverse.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want to be giving her space to do that.
Yeah, she'll pick out strikers at will as this one falls past almost everybody on its way through there. Will be free hit there to the Dragons. And now, so yeah, we see Chulin kind of playing as a free man defensively. So Hallie's picking up on Jules and Lorna doing a defensive marking role at the back. The press at the moment, a 3/4 slide from the Pacifica side. Belinda Smith, a pretty dangerous distributor if she gets going.
Yeah, definitely. I've been caught out a couple of those in clubs.
Yeah, she likes to hit back across the grain, so she'll be heading towards the right and then like to tuck it under towards the left and can do it both sides. Belinda Smith does have a good long ball, so those strikers are going to have to be on those lines, and probably why we see Chulin playing in that extra free man role for Pacifica. As Garcia rolls one out here, and a little bit big for Lucy Russ. Lucy Russ, of course, one of the locals helping out this Asian Dragons outfit this weekend. There's a couple of them in there. And to go alongside our Asian Heritage ladies. And here is Lorna Charlock now in that more traditional back 3 we've seen from Pacifica. But hunting are the Dragons. And opportunity, big one here. Chulin Pritchard having to get back and work. Still going. What a pass. The Dragons' first shot.
Save.
What a save from Queenie Blakelock. Big left-hand glove save. Excellent start from the Asian Dragons, and the first time we see the back three gets them in trouble there, Pacifica. So that's the threat of this Asian Dragon side. We talked about the high press. It's something they've been using to great effect. And just there, created an opportunity thanks to that press. So, see it again on the replay. That lovely little pass out there to Lisa Zhu. Zhu just wrapped the wrists around it and got it airborne. Queenie equal to it. And this time they look for the aerial out. And again it falls in the front court for the Asians. Mistrap there from Katie O'Connor, and now Chulin Pritchard comes from the field, so they're in an awful back three shape at the moment. There's a defender that's over by the umpire, and now Lorna Charlick has to go it alone.
No one's really covered that back.
No, they're in terrible shape at the moment. It's finally going to come out here, but it's a long distance, this pass, and it's not come at a great speed, and look at that. That's what you invite with that sort of shape. Pacifica getting it wrong at the moment. And such is the pressure from this Asian Dragon side. Garcia, well, that one's going to go straight in. She's actually hoping there that Jess Ellis would get a little touch on it. Now they win it again. That's 3 in a row in the front court for the Asian Dragons. This Pacifica side really needs some help getting out of their own end. And again, it's going to go the way of the Dragons. Spoken about this in a number of this Asian Dragons games, their ability to put a real squeeze on. Russ linking up there with Garcia. Still there for Garcia, turns it in, away, still there. And Ruby Jane gets back in and helps that one exit. So have a look at the shape here for Pacifica. They're going to play, still persist with this back three. Real shallow, but really wide, their back three at the moment. Trying to get 2 contact points in there between Scurra and Ruby Jane, and now, oh, what a pressure pass. They get it at least towards halfway. And good defensive work there from Isabella. And they come forward again, the Dragons. Another shot coming, another save from Queenie Blacklock. Up to it all at the moment. The Queen of the Pacifica. There she is at the back for her side. 2 saves made already. We're only 6 minutes into this one. And look at all that space in the middle now for Jess Ellis. As Lucy Russ helps them around the back. Again, this is fantastic play here by the Dragons. And just overrun. Now here comes Pacifica. And Russ gets back on her bike, does the defensive work, and some 3D on the way through as well. And Bailey Newman thought she got away with one there. And I think if I'm the Pacifica coach, they've got to find a way to get a little bit more stability in the outlet. I actually do quite like the idea of putting Toulon back there to give them a back 4, and perhaps even persisting still with the 2 contact points, just to try and break this Asian press down, because at the moment they're just inviting wave after wave of attack. And Jazz, how difficult is it out there when you just can't seem to get out of your own defensive end?
Oh, it's the worst feeling, especially when you're trying to lead for them and then the other team just picks everything up. It's not much else you can do. Yeah.
Again, they slide here. They look long out of the back, but it's picked up right on halfway. And King will consolidate there through. Belinda Smith, Toulon's now up the front. We asked for her return, but it's at the other end of the field, and Shanae Phillips now turns on one. Phillips, another of these players helping out with the Asian Dragons side.
We're actually giving her a bit of stick for being a little bit of a traitor to the Māori girls.
Well, it's funny you say that, actually, because on her Altius, she's had games played for New Zealand Māori, New Zealand Asian, and Heritage Barbarians at one point. There's a little touch there. Beats Queenie Blacklock. It's a scramble. Oh, and again, Pacifica having to do the hard yards in their defensive end. Lorna now trying to make a break for it. Ruby Jane gets the free hit on halfway, and this is what they need. There's a little bit of possession at the other end of the field. Lorna Charlick's up on that sideline, and they go the other way.
Hallie saw something, and then that got shut off.
Yeah, I think a sub came on at the same time and turned her away from this pass. Is going to battle for it here. Hallie, but will fall for Jess Ellis. And Jess Ellis, one of the, we call them the seasoned veterans in this team. She had a message from her last night, hoping that the body hangs on for one more game out here, 4-4. A little past some of these players now, but still out there battling is Jess Ellis. And here's a spirited run across the circle. That one going to go over the back line. Very nearly Lily Botting starting something for the Dragons, as we see the Dragons bench there. And here's Belinda Smith. We talked about her distribution skills, cut out by Hallie Scurra and Tulin Pritchard. Again, back to help. And they take it quickly. And again, here is Scurra, the captain. She's got a couple of players ahead, but drops it off and not far enough. And now the captain for the Dragons will come onto the ball. They opt to go around this nice back four shape here for the Dragons. Jess Ellis is the pivot. Lovely touch pass out and away, and a sliding tackle. It had to be made there by Eva Sexton, and gets the shin pad back in and socks up again. Russ here searching. We're about the midpoint of the first quarter. Neither team with points on the board, but the Asian Dragons have had a few opportunities early in this final. And now Lorna, she'll just take it up to the 16-yard line, and again that persisting with this back three shape. Again, not in great shape, considering the opposite outside half is a long way away, and now out of position. Here come the Dragons. Charlick having to do some work. It's only a matter of time. Doesn't it feel like that way, Jazz?
They've been attacking so much.
Yep, something has to go here. Something has to break. And it's all battle stations. Again, the shape here from Pacifica, I'm really struggling with it. This ball is so far to Mirage that they're able to put real pressure on it. And that's a nice little 45, but again, only as far as halfway. And the Asian side able just to live in the front court at the moment.
I feel like they definitely have to reconsider putting that back four back in, because they're just not really getting many options at the moment. Yeah,
they have to look at something. And to be honest, we saw this exact game play out when the Asian team took on the Fiji Heritage side. Exactly the same situation happened. They just couldn't get out of their own defensive end. Marika, Nadia, Divyanka tried their best in the midfield, but just without any real connective shape around the back. And even this, we're going to have to go a long way back, and a long ball that they're able to run down here. And now all pressure back on, and another win for the Dragons.
It almost feels like they're trying to overcomplicate it a little bit.
Yeah, even as desperate measures, I might even be tempted to play the blue card and just pull the Asian Dragons press out of strings for 5 minutes here. I know it sounds a little desperate, but they genuinely haven't been out of their half in what feels like 10 or so minutes, and they come again here, the Asian Dragons. This is going to be taxing for the defensive group for Pacifica. And they get one. The crowd enjoys it. There's not been a lot to applaud for the strong Pacific contingent in the crowd. Lorna Charlick looking, doesn't get it right. That's the pressure coming on, and another successful press here for the Asians. And they'll get this one through the long corner. in just under 4 minutes now left to play in this first quarter. I mean, if Pacifica can manage to turn them away here for another 4 minutes, it will be huge for the confidence. But like I said, it's got to be taxing on the legs. 4th game for a lot of these players, an 8th game for some of them. Those that were involved in the JHL, that's a nice out. Yeah, back to Taikamata, first real foray we've seen in a long time, and it's going to be an opportunity here for Ruby Jane. And Belinda Smith, yeah, does really well. I will say, for all the weather that they've had to do, if they do manage to score one here, completely against the run of play, it could be immense for... there's a couple of local counties friends there. Little cat and mouse between Mirage Blakelock and Shane Garcia, and they're still laughing about it. I think Shane's still laughing from her interview about 4 nights ago. As we see the Asian Dragon side come away with it here, half touch. And now Blakelock under some pressure. It's hit her foot. They'll go quickly here. Oh, yeah, that's... She knows it too. That's a pretty rough one there. Mirage just flicking the ball away after the free hit, and now the penalty corner. See it here. So she's under pressure. You see it hit her foot. And she'll just wait long enough for the player to go, and then...
Bit cheeky.
Yeah, cheeky, but she's going to be... she's going to put her team in the hole for it. And now, first look at the penalty corner for the Asian Dragons. 2 genuine options off the bracket. Belinda Smith on the first and Jess Ellis on the second. We can see them there on the brackets. Belinda likes that pretty stationary run up there. They're going to go to Jess Ellis. Ellis with the sweep hit. And it's somehow saved on the line. Another penalty corner coming. Defensive work. Way to stand up there. I think it's beaten the foot of Queenie Blakelock and has found the line. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them change this one up. They alternate between Ellis and Smith. This one, though, they go again to Ellis. They look interesting. Jess Ellis is just sweep hitting. It's a short handle sweep hit that's going through there, and almost looks like they're trying to find some deflectors.
They're definitely looking for that left side a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and now we'll have a reset. Now, have a look at what the setup here is. Belinda Smith likes to play from the second bracket back to this net side. Again, that sweep hit was what they're looking for, whether it's, deflection. Lucy Russ is getting in on a narrow.
If I were them, I'd go first bracket, hit down the line.
Yeah, I want to give Belinda a good go. There's the switch. Second bracket, Belinda back towards the injectors post. And didn't quite get the angle enough. She's hit the middle of the goal, but that's what we called. So they have a late switch there between Jess and Belinda. She likes hitting from that second bracket back under at the left, looking at the goal left side, goalie stick side. Just didn't get enough hook on it that time, but 3 corners now for the Dragons. And still, they remain scoreless despite all of this pressure. And Taikamata, wow, showing a little bit of raz on her way through. And back out through Lorna. She'll head to the corner. She'll be happy to hear the hooter. They'll be wanting to get on the whiteboards pretty quickly here in this one, as we're locked up here, 0-0 between New Zealand Pacifica and the Asian Dragons. And during this quarter break, I'm joined in commentary. My pleasure to have Nadine Lomu. Nadine, one of the sponsors of this year's tournament. Just talk us through what it is you do, the products, and your support of this year's tournament.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's quite an honour and a privilege to be part of the Heritage Hockey Tournament right now, and to be widening my scope in terms of what I'm usually involved in. So to be able to support the women's Pacifica teams and even the generations to come is something quite dear to my heart. To be able to, for me, it's it's more than the sport. And so it's being able to build relationships and the camaraderie that fosters from relationships and opportunities like this. And so for me, it's the cosmetic products, and it's really, I guess, the beauty that is within all of us, and it's bringing that in, helping that to shine. So I'm right behind the girls. The tournament is something I'm strongly in belief of with our Pacifica people, and really just helping to support them where I can and helping voices to be heard, really. That's me.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, just the discussions I've had even with Brett over the last couple of days, sounds like creating platforms for Pacifica ladies to stand up and be proud. Exactly what we're showcasing here. You see Lorna Charlick just on the screen there, leading by example for the Pacifica ladies, and then, you know, with the products that you provide and have sponsored for this event, again, helping our Pacific people feel beautiful, feel proud about who they are and where they stand. So, you know, epic relationship, and we're so happy to have you part of it. Any messages to people out there that are looking down that Pacifica pathway, whether it's through sports or into business like yourself?
I think the thing to really foster and keep within us is like I say, no matter the field that we're stepping onto, is it's really just holding on to what we believe, and no matter the challenges that we are faced with, because we are all faced with them, no matter where we've come from, or no matter our age or the businesses that we're involved in. And so as Pacifica people, I would always just, being a person that's gone through a lot of heartache and grief over the last 9.5 years since losing Jonah, is it's something that we must stay true to ourselves, and it's really being supportive to those that are around us, and trying to be the best example that we can be is really what is important for our Pacifica people and the challenges that we are up against.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And again, thank you so much for your support of the tournament, of Pacifica people and the women as a whole. I'm sure they're doing you proud out there at the moment. The ladies in the final and standing up now. So thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us for a moment here in commentary, and we look forward to being able to present some of the ladies, some of your fantastic products coming up this afternoon.
Thanks so much.
Oh, good. Back onto the turf here. We're underway in the second quarter, and as we spoke about just before the break, these Pacifica ladies have gone back into that back four shape. You see Tulin Pritchard back there to start, just to help that outlet process. The Asian Dragons, though, still effective in their press as Julia King uses every inch of that baseline, and now trying to link up. Jazz, for all the pressure that the Asian Dragons were able to put on, nothing on the scoreboard. I talked about how taxing it is for a defensive group to have to do all that work, but how hard is it also for a group of strikers or an attackers that you're hammering away, and you can't get anything?
It gets quite frustrating, but it's also like you're trying to lead and you're trying to make space.
And speaking of space, just as we talk about it, there's a tiny little bit of space on the near post there, and Lily Botting, I think, gets the little touch on it. We said it had to come at some point. They couldn't hold out for much longer, given the weight of possession and opportunity here. And just like that, we'll see it on the replay because the ball's still coming from the back of the turf. The first goal there. Oh, no, we'll bail on that ball that's behind the goal. And we'll get started. But we did say, Jazz, it wasn't going to take much longer. I just didn't think they could keep holding out this Pacifica team. And finally, the Asian Dragons get the breakthrough.
Yeah, no, definitely. It'll be good to see how the Pacifica girls counteract that, as we were talking about yesterday. That little 2 minutes right after a goal scored obviously could go either way. They could come back. We saw in our game today we had a few goals that were just within that 2 minute mark as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up. I was going to ask, I think you guys probably just felt guilty a little bit to scoring one and then conceding straight after, which Pacifica will be hoping to do here and answer back straight to this Asian defensive group. But you're right, these periods right after scoring become so important for both teams. One team gets confident and one team gets desperate for sort of 2 or 3 minutes, and the results could go either way. But the Asian Dragons, they're ahead now, 1-0 in this women's final. And Lorna Charlick now on the ball. She's got a good overhead on her. It'll fall just before halfway to Zoe Takamata, and it's going to go against her. Yeah, thought she was probably in the space first, and a touch. It's going to fall for the Asian. Still there. It's not a convincing shot, and Bella Holt has to clean up, and now they get the relieving free hit. So also to mention, Bella Holt joined the fray just after the quarter break. Perhaps not the initiation she would have been hoping for, conceding the goal, but now a bit of work to do for this Pacifica team. And there's Mirage and Ruby Jane waiting to come onto the field. And just see again out of the back end, Pacifica just mixing up between back 4 and back 3. Tulin playing both the DM and sometimes the fullback.
And a striker.
Yeah, well, that's it. All up and down the field. And now a bit of go forward here for the Dragons. Roll down the sideline and again, just allow them to start the press. They're back 3 shape at the moment. There's the second entry point. Love the turn from Pritchard, Scurra working together. And forced to come back again. And Charlotte, her players are a long way away, and that's far too easy for Julia King. King looking, trying to find a pass. Dump it back, though, through Alice, and now they'll bring the second wave on here. Come the Dragons. Russ rolls it, and over the back line it goes. I love that patience there from Julia King. Had a look, didn't really like any of her options, and they bring that second wave on. As we just see the ref now, they are going to get rid of that second ball, or perhaps get the correct ball back onto the field. Lorna Charlotte gets an extra couple of seconds of breath time getting in the way of that one, and now Julia King. It's the little entry, and it's got up off the stick there of Lisa Zhu, and away comes Zoe Takamata. Nice touch there from Eva Sexton. She'll try and go 3D past Belinda Smith. And
doesn't like that call.
Yeah, no, she'll try her best to play a bit of 30-metre charades with David Oakley.
I've tried that before. It doesn't really go well.
Doesn't work.
I think he's just bad at charades.
Jess Ellis now here at the back. And Belinda Smith has pivoted out to the right where she made that defensive work moments ago. And no real pressure from this Pacifica group. Happy to slide in the 3-quarter, but perhaps that's what they were waiting for. The unforced error from the captain. And here is Bailey Newman to take on the captain for the Dragons. And again, can't get through Lisa Zhu. Bailey Newman there, usually faster than most on the field, but not a lot of space there to stretch the legs. And now Hallie Scurra will take the 25-yard hit. Beats one and will win a free hit for it as well. Those free hits are sometimes given, sometimes not, and that one, penalty corner coming, so Newman finally gets the result that she was after on Lisa Zhu. And out of the circle, penalty corner. We'll watch it again here. Not much in it, really. Got beaten, and yeah, it gives away a free penalty corner from outside the circle. Lisa Zhu a little disappointed here, but now an opportunity, big one for Pacifica to strike back. Ruby Jane on the second bracket. Looks like Zoe Takamata on the first, and they've got 2 runners on the right, Lorna on the left. The claps come up from the local.
The out of time claps come up.
It's out of time. Zoe it is. She's going to hit one as hard as she can. And the charades go the way of the Dragons, and they're out and running. There's big numbers here. It's 2-on-4 if they can get it. That ball needed to come back across the field instead of up the line. It looked like Zoe Ellis was all alone at the top of the circle, and they just untidy in the penalty corner execution from Pacifica. And now they look straight towards the top of the circle. Ruby Jane cleaning up. Mirage Blakelock now through Newman, but she's picked clean by Alice. And a little bit further up the field now, Belinda Smith, who's had a position change with Julia King. In fact, she was right up the front. And one thing that's really interesting in that penalty corner bracket, Jazz, not sure if you noticed, but Lorna Charlick is up on the sort of left slide there, considering she's traditionally their deepest defender. To send her up to the penalty corner and not use her seems a little strange to me, considering the opportunity to break down the other way without your main central defender.
Yeah, I think obviously she's been one of the main people on the PC, so they would have tried maybe a little bit of deception for them to maybe hoping the first runner would run to her and set it to the top to give Zoe a bit more time.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't matter in the end, but very nearly an opportunity for the Dragons on the counter from the penalty corner. I actually don't mind seeing her at that left slide if they perhaps go straight to her, or even a little tuck left layoff.
She actually fooled me myself. I thought they were going to go short to Lorna.
I was thinking about it, especially because they had the two slide right runners as well. Maybe open up an extra deflection, but no, out it came, and it was a little messy for Zoe. As trap on the reverse, another press, successful press for the Asian Dragons.
Shani on the run.
Phillips trying to take on Lorna Charlick, and it's going to bounce one and two ways. King doesn't get any of it, but it's going to get through. And Bailey Newman runs right straight in and kicks it. Not her finest work, but she'll have to put on some defensive corner gear, and the Dragons back the other way. You see it here. Yeah, just ran in a little bit hot. She knows it. Stick up on the forehead. And now the opportunity. So we'll have a look at the bracket here. Linda Smith at the second bracket, like I said, likes hitting off second and targeting this part of the goal here. So if she stays there, otherwise Jess Ellis has been looking for deflections. It is Ellis. That one hits the foot of the first runner. It might have even been the second runner. First runner might have got through. As we see, it was Newman running one. And it looked like maybe Zoe Ellis running two. We'll see a reset here. Ellis again. And she is getting run down. I like that from Bailey Newman. That's good, solid work there. Evan Nichols going to say, hey, you're not going to run so fast. I can't run that fast, so you can't run that fast, I think was the message there from the umpire, because everything else I loved. Loved the effort, loved getting through, and she's run them down, so full credit to as
a little bit hooked
well, Lorna, yeah. And she gets a high five at the top of the circle from Zoe Ellis for it, but that one is not how it was drawn up. A little hook on that one. And she'll maybe get to try again here through another 16-yard hit.
I think the Pacifica girls just need to maybe take a breather for a sec. They look a bit, obviously they're chasing a goal. They just need to calm down. I mean, we found it in our game as soon as we took a breath and actually had a bit of composure and just played, we actually found ourselves attacking quite well.
Yeah, absolutely right. Just being able to get people in the right areas of the field, get on the same page, get your layers back, and then really be able to build an attack hard against this Asian Dragons team, because they press hard, they run pretty quick, and now Ruby Jane trying to link up there with Bailey Newman. Newman gets past Smith, at least enough for a free hit, and goes quickly. That one probably didn't go 5 before it went in, but it doesn't matter. King's cleaning up, and King happy to kick to touch there. Take a breather herself. We're inside 3.5 minutes left in this second quarter. And the Asian team, they're ahead 1-0 in the women's gold medal match. This live stream brought to you by Local Gecko Productions, and of course thanks to the support from One Foundation and Alpha, major tournament and live stream sponsors. One Foundation, of course, being here for the full 5 years of Heritage. Alpha joining this year, and big part of getting the Punjab Warriors women's team out here to New Zealand to compete. So massive thank you to them, as well as Keep Alive, MTEL, and we heard from Nadine Lomu earlier in this quarter. So thank you to those sponsors. And now Pacifica can't pull that one in. Bailey Newman perhaps running out of gas this weekend. Had a fair bit of hockey under her belt. And now opportunity, big one here. And Tuila McDiarmid there, all swing, no ding. Julia King, Lakers in 5. As he comes out towards halfway there. And across the field. A bit of space here from Charlick. She'll look to enter through Chulin Pritchard. Pritchard blows up the tackle. And showing a bit of that indoor skill. We spoke about it yesterday, but cut out there by the Dragons. And now they are off to the races. This is the Flying Red Dragon at the moment. They're flooding numbers. If they can link up, here's Russ. Russ has Bodding. Russ. Oh, and Bodding went early. If she'd just stayed on her feet a touch longer, the half save from Bella Holt would have fallen right on her lap there. And now, perhaps the other way, the Pacific Power, here they come. The ladies in purple, 3D1, 3D2. Oh, it's unbelievable. Oh, Eva Sexton has done all the work there. I tell you what, I actually thought the firm whistle was for a penalty corner at mine. They were behind the light pole here at Harbour, and I thought it was corner time, but David Oakley not loving the 3D skills there from Eva Sexton, and now pressure on. Good composure there by Lorna Charlick.
Taking a second.
Yep, taking a breather. She looked up at the clock for a second, just figured out that there's only a minute left. King picks that one up. And now on that reverse, we go back for the free hit on the challenge. And about 30, a little over 30 seconds left here. Can the Asian Dragons double the lead going into the break? Can Pacifica hold on? Can Belinda Smith find the ball back? There they go. Now Lily Bodding. Can they get the entry? Garcia touches it through. Ooh, and very nearly there for Zoe Ellis. Again, it's all battle stations for Pacifica.
I would love to be in that car ride home with Jess and Zoe.
I tell you what. It's...
I played with my mum once, and that was enough.
How exciting is that? You see them come from the field. There is the half-time whistle. We're 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Pacifica behind. The Asian Dragons with the lead 1-0 thanks to that little goal to Lily Bodding. It was a near side gap found through the goalkeeper early in that second quarter. And there's one big opportunity Tuila McDiarmid had in the top of the circle for Pacifica. Just couldn't be put on target. Both teams now a few minutes to recover, a few minutes to discuss Pythagoras theorem there for those two, and a few minutes to get things rolling for the second half. A lot of hockey left in this one. Jazz, it's 1-0 the way of the Asians, and they deserve it at the moment. They've been on top for what feels like 99% of this game. Where do you see any opportunity coming for the Pacifica ladies?
I think one thing that, if I was Antonio, what I would be saying is when they get that ball over the sideline, those strikers, as soon as it goes over, that quick auto, because the Asian girls, they're not really getting back as quick as what they normally are because obviously everyone's tired. So even the quick takeoff, they'd find themselves like 3v2s in most of that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you see there, that was a little cynical roll away, earning the penalty corner. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Just finding ways to gain an advantage, whether that's a quick free hit from those sidelines where the player's too close, whether it's potentially just working those penalty corners where you can take some of the defenders away. Finding ways to manufacture any advantage they can at the moment, because the Dragons so far have dominated this game. We see a fair number of penalty corners. This one from Smith, saved well by Blacklock. And a couple of little opportunities. They were few and far between. That was the big shoulder charge there, I think, from the Dragons. This one, a little messy. You can see it there. Zoe having to step twice. Jess Ellis doing enough at second runner. And away they go. This little half trap gave them another penalty corner. I think they had 4 or 5 of them already, the Dragons. Nothing from the corner though. That one run down. I think the second runner was Emmy Arledge. And then they do get run down, and some Sunny Bill, how you doing, to go with it. Love it. That one, that's the one there. I think if Lily Botting had just waited where she was, the ball might have got there. This one, very nearly scramble. Had to be cleaned up there by Megan Teliai, and we'll have a look at the stats. That's resounding. Have a look at that. That's a half of hockey that has been an absolute domination by the New Zealand Asian side. And the only stat that they really aren't as impressive in is that score. You would like to think from that many opportunities it'd be 2 or 3 goals, but they hold the slender lead. And there we see, well, it's not a soccer field, but the Jess Ellis there really walking through some stuff on the whiteboard. You can see over the shoulders Julia King there addressing the rest of the group. But cool to see those senior players stepping up and sharing their knowledge. Same thing likely in this Pacifica huddle, those that have played a little bit more hockey. And Ruby Jane there down as well. So big half coming, 1-0 in favour of the Dragons, and only their second tournament here at Heritage 2025, the newly created entity at last year's tournament. And there's some of the crowd. We'll go crowd spotting. There's the Pacifica boys front row. Kervin Goodenbill, he wanted to shout out earlier. I think he's been playing well this weekend. Adam Kailea alongside him. Blake Irwin, I think, there as well. And no wonder it's so loud out there. And not sure if you can hear it through the sideline mics, but they're up and they're at it. And there's some more of the Pacific Pride up in the stands. They're going to need a lot of that if they're to break down this Asian Dragon side. There is the pride of Samoa. I know that kid, he's actually Tongan. But, hey, proud nonetheless.
Pacifica hard.
That's it. We're all the Pacific. As Pacifica will get first use of it here. Zoe Takamata, she's just going to go freestyler. Linking up there. I like that attack. I like the go forward. Like we said, any advantage, capture them napping. And now some 3D skill. Much to the delight of the Pacifica boys in the front row. I think they paid double for those tickets as well this afternoon.
Double in beers? Or
Actually, in fact, I know Adam Kiley hasn't paid anything. As we see now, Pacifica opportunity. Skara. Oh, what a save there. Shuku Morimoto. I saw she got her own highlight reel after yesterday's game. Adding to it now, Morimoto.
I think that's one thing. You give Hallie any space in the circle, she's going to take that shot.
Yeah, and we've got to remember, like, some of these players here for Pacifica, yes, they're playing up the spine, defensive mids for their team, but they're actually strikers. Tulin Pritchard, Hallie Skara, they want to be playing going forward, attacking mids at best, having to do a bit of extra work to help the team, but still so deadly going forward. And now the Dragons relieve a bit of first up pressure, cut out She's got right down the other end this time. Tulin working out with Lorna Charlik. Lorna back into a bit of space here for Pritchard if she can link up. Can't get through that time. And Alice will take her time. They bring Monet Garcia down the line there to Lily Bodding. Lily. Tackle there from Megan Teliai. And a little messy there for both teams. And again, we'll work our way forward via the sideline hit. A little bit tough for the teams playing in and out of the shade there. I hate when that happens at this time of the day. Plenty of sun on that side for Belinda Smith. And the touch pass just goes too far ahead of Lucy Russ. I like the start from Pacifica. Those first few forays, especially through Zoe and Hallie, hopefully gave them some confidence to continue building an attack, because they really struggled in it that first half. And away comes Lisa Zhu, beating another one. Zhu. And showing some 3D as well, but out over the back line was the call.
Only thing I would question from those Pacifica girls is that every time they get the ball, they take 2 steps forward and then drag back into them, instead of just going where the player isn't. Yeah,
it's a tough one. I think outside of Bailey Newman, I don't know how many of them back themselves in the foot race against some of these Asians. So trying to manufacture a free hit perhaps and then get things going. But you're right, nothing worse than seeing a player try and beat the same person 2 or 3 times, especially when you're struggling to mount an attack. As that one's cut out by Lucy Russ. Russ now breaking towards the middle of the field. She's going to veer away from Hallie Skara and then past the next, but straight onto the flat stick of Lorna. And now linking with Zoe Takamada. You mentioned in our game yesterday, this Pacifica team, it's a few newer faces in this Pacifica group. It's a younger group, missing some of those that we've seen previous for the Pacifica group. And the likes of Tori and Kayla Val, Chris Amakia, Storm Dolan Robson, etc. So some new faces out here for Pacifica. And speaking of some of those old faces, sounds like it's Hannah Rose Elliott's shout at the bar at the moment.
She did text me, where are you? Hi, Hannah. I want a Spates, please.
There we go. Order via the outside speakers, and that one rolls through the circle over the back line. Shuku Morimoto not having to do too much there. Only one save so far from the Asian goalkeeper.
Ava, who are you going on for?
And now Julia King looking long. Cut out well though. Twila McDiarmid drops it back off to the wrong team, and the Dragons find themselves an unlikely attack here. That one pretty rough by Lorna, and the second puts her hand up and says sorry. And now King with a bit of space over there for Lucy Russ. Russ has just Alice. Love the 1-2. That's fantastic from the Dragons. But just slowed up on her run here.
Quite interesting seeing Lucy Russ playing a half. She's normally in that DM striker attacking role.
Yep.
Now she's out defending.
Again, just what you do for the team. Hey, that's what this weekend's been about. By the sounds, even in your guys' game, we had players that started up the front, moved to the back. You had people all over the place. Murphy was up the front, then she was playing in the middle. And again, when injuries go or when legs start falling off, players just have to be able to adjust. And that's the joys here of Heritage Hockey. You even, I think, impersonated a striker for a few moments there with a couple of goals today, Jazz.
Impersonated is a far stretch. I am a striker. I impersonated midfield. Well, I tried to impersonate a midfield for a little bit. Courtney went, Jazz, yeah, you jump in. And I went, excuse me?
Yeah, I know. Brett just about ran down and subbed off himself as we see Lorna Charlick here just taking a breather. This is slightly better shape for Pacifica, but they opt to go short down the line and straight into trouble there. And here come the Dragons. It's a half trap. We'll call it a trap door. Little turn for Zoo. Zoo, though, runs straight into Charlick. And, yeah, nice out there by Zoe Takamata. But cleaned up by Alice. It's scrappy again here for both teams this third quarter. Yeah, he's done a bit of that. And now, can this Pacifica team build anything? And now it's after a little bit of hurdles there. Lucy Russ is going to come away with it. She's had enough of defending. She's going forward. And still going. Shani leaving players in her wake. That's not the pass.
Almost looked like she tried to say sorry then as well at the same time.
Yeah. Sorry I skinned you. And we're going to get a little stoppage here. Bevan Nickel just making sure everybody's hair ties were nice and tight. Good to go. Here comes Julia King. King beats 1, 2, and cleaned up by Teliai. Lovely defensive work there from Monet Garcia. And again, Pacifica passing to the wrong players there. It's the second time we've seen it. And
uniforms are a little bit similar.
Yeah, darkish. Both darkish, I guess. And here comes Russ. She's been cooped up all game and doesn't get away with that 3D pass, a little bit too high up into the Pacifica defender as we see a look into the Asian dugout. And midway through this third quarter, is there any way for Pacifica to break through the Asian Dragons at the moment? It's not looking likely at present. Dragons look to be in fair bit of control, and Bevan Nickel is going to dig into the pocket there. It's our first card of the game. Oh, game, yeah. First one's going the way of...
Second card.
Yeah, did Mirage get one earlier? Yeah, second card of the game. Both go in the way of Pacifica. And there we see Michaela Lily Moore. But she gets a lolly, so all worth it.
She stopped the tackle.
Yep. I'll take a green card for a lolly if there's any going.
Can't get green carded for commentary.
I'd take 2 minutes off if they were going. Here's Belinda Smith. Lovely touch, botting. Oh, what a tackle from Lorna. Love that work. Good patience showing. And now they build back up again, the Asian Dragons. What a ball. Just can't control it. The first one coming up there off the stick of Zoe Ellis.
Bit of a change up. Mirage going in the middle.
Yeah, Lorna's moved off to the left here and they go to Lorna, maybe just trying to change the angle of this outlet. I see the idea there. And subs coming on for the Asian team. Laura Lau on the ball there. There's the overhead. 2 players in the vicinity. It's going to go the way there of Pacifica. I don't know what Hallie was complaining about. It's her free hit.
Hallie will fight with me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the Tongan shoulder, that one. And Pacifica go out again. This time Pritchard under a little bit of pressure. Pritchard working the middle. Cleaned up by Lowe. And now here comes Lily Botting. Alice on the reverse stick. Oh,
And it's a goal.
sir. That's a goal. Look at that from Zoe Alice. Oh, my goodness. That thing's in the roof. Have a look at it again. Lovely turn. Beats the defender. And my goodness.
That is an Alice goal if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Oh, and they love it in the dugout as well. The Asians double the lead there. 2-0 over Pacifica, and look well in control in this third quarter. Zoe Alice absolutely roofs one there, and Bella Holt, who happens to be on the wrong end of all the highlights at the moment, having to just watch that one sail past her outstretched left glove. And taken quickly by the Dragons. Lucky clean up there for Ruby Jane. And now, what are we going to see from this Pacifica team? They're going to have to throw something a little different if they're any chance of getting back in this game. You know, could it be the blue card? Could it be the goalkeeper? There's still a lot of time, but at the moment they have to find some sort of way through. Because if they keep doing what they've been doing for the last 50 minutes, it's not going to happen here for them. Shuku has made one save. We'll look at the goal again. Have a look at this. How much space. Oh.
That's a shot.
Yeah, that's the stuff you do at training and hope somebody was watching. That is pretty.
I tell you, if it's a Roscoe one, Brett's never watching.
Oh, I heard he doesn't come to trainings. Yeah.
When it doesn't rain.
Here's Ruby Jane trying to work out for Pacifica. What do you do here, Jazz? What can this Pacifica group do? What are their options? What's the ace in the back pocket that you can try and throw at this Asian Dragon side? It might not even work, but they've got to try and do something. What do you got for us?
I mean, get a free hit on halfway, bring Lorna up, overhead it somewhere, find a pocket, hope for the best.
Yeah, it's the options seem to be wearing a little thin here for this Pacifica team, such as the pressure from this Asian Dragons outfit, and Lucy Russ can't get through this time, but Garcia did well to start with, but now she's given it to the wrong team.
It really feels like the Asian women, they've watched the games, they've done their homework, they know exactly how to press, how to mark, how to attack, how to get behind this Pacifica team.
Yeah, and I'm not even making a joke, but it just seems really calculated at the moment.
You sure it wasn't a joke?
Look. No, you're right, though. They look well prepared. They look like they know what they're trying to achieve, and at the moment it's all going their way for the Asian side.
I mean, you've got Belinda Smith, Julia King, Jess Ellis, all very experienced, very well trained. They know what to do in games like this. They've been in many games like this.
Yeah, look, the reality is outside of Gurjit Kaur, who came across with the touring Indian side, they've probably got 3 of the 5 most experienced players in the whole tournament. You might have a nod to a Claudia Hannum potentially for the Māori team in the game she played, and maybe Jazz Suda. But outside of those 2, I think they've probably got 3 of the most experienced players at a very high level and still operating at a high level here for the Asian side. You saw glimpses of it in year 1, but now looks like they've just refined things, and the addition of Belinda Smith as a helper has really turned it up another level here, and they look like they're well in control of this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Pritchard in a little midfield battle there with Julia King.
Showing a bit of mana.
Has to. The sleeves are already off, but if they weren't, they'd have to roll them up and do some work here. The Pacifica ladies. But even here, off the ball, look at the work rate of the Asian Dragons players. Queenie Blakelock, she can only look on and hope that somehow her magical save might count for a goal. Perhaps when she comes back on. They did the same rotation yesterday. First and fourth quarters were Queenies. Second and third were Bellas.
Not that I have inside knowledge, but they are doing that today as well.
Yeah, it does look the plan. And King, and so this is interesting here. Pacifica just happy to sit in this slide while the Asian Dragons are up 2-0. And they need to push out. There's only a minute here. I'd love just to see them throw something for a minute. Run a high press, run a target man. I know it's Jules and Belinda, but you're going to have to do something here. Otherwise, this Asian Dragon side are going to grind out.
See, just there, like, they go, look, I'll just throw the overhead. There's so much space. They're all clammed in by the circle.
Yeah. And even if you don't, remain in possession, that ball going over the sideline up towards the opposite 25 is so much better than the outcome there inside your own 25. Sometimes you've just got to get to the other end, stock take a breath, and then figure things out from there.
I mean, you got Michaela, Chulin, Bailey, girls with speed, Hallie, Zoe. People can pick up that overhead.
Yep. Oh, bit of space. What a ball there from Smith. She's in the circle. It's on the foot, and it's opportunity here for Asian Dragons to finish the third quarter with an exclamation point.
Did they just gain 3 extra subs?
I know, we've talked about them not having any subs all weekend, and somehow they still look like they're running harder and faster than most. We'll see it on this penalty corner. They're all up here, so a lot to look at in this penalty corner bracket. You can see they're also just trying to figure out perhaps what Pacifica are doing in their goal. Checking with David Oakley, is the time actually up? And there's the 4 subs. That's all of them. It's the full bench. It's the biggest bench they've had all weekend.
Katie standing up tall on that.
Yeah, you've got to see over the handrail. Katie O'Connor, there she is. I think if she's standing on the ground, she'd be looking through the gate.
It's our newest little addition to Roscoe, actually.
Love to see it. And here we go. Can they finish with a bang? It's wide there. Lisa Zhu couldn't get her stick down in time. It's 2-0, and it's the Asian Dragons who have scored in the second and third quarters here, and they hold a healthy lead going into the fourth, the women's gold medal match between New Zealand Pacifica and the New Zealand Asian Dragons. 2-0 in favour of the Dragons. Can they win their very first Heritage Hockey Tournament this year, 2025, in just year 2 of the Asian Dragons? Or will Pacifica mount the ultimate comeback here in front of a spirited, flavoured crowd here in North Harbour this year? And we see the two teams there. This is going to be some of the highlight through this game. That's the shot from Hallie Skara, well covered by Shuku, saw it all the way. This is the goal. Oh, have a look at this. That's in the roof there. We'll see it from the front angle. And you'll be able to see from this one, this first little contest here gets caught and the ball opens up into this space here, and the defender just can't keep up. The space created by Alice as we see it roll through. Now this gap way too big, and as much as you can stave there, Bella, it's going here as we see it roll out. Thanks for coming. You're not stopping that. I don't care who you are. That's an absolute bullet. And then that last little possession here down the baseline onto the foot. And the penalty corner, they go. That bracket, and got a fair bit of it. If you got any stick on it, it's in the goal again, and they would have had 3, the Asian team. And again, we talk about match stats. I think the counter on the computer is going to run out of numbers shortly. That is the dominance of this Asian Dragon side. The only stat the Pacifica team are winning is the green cards. They've got 2 of them, and the Asians have none. So
one thing, though, they have all of those stats, and yet it's only 2-0.
That's
so
right.
Pacifica girls are doing something right.
Yeah, they're defending staunch, and they're having to do it tough at the moment. If they can just find one, and talking to the Māori men in the earlier men's gold medal match, they said the same thing. If they'd just been able to find one, that's not how you find it. Zhu, can she do it here?
Nice little touch from Lorna.
Yeah, excellent work, Lorna and Queenie there. Just not allowing Lisa Zhu to get her shot on. But as I was saying, if they can just get one, it might create something. It might give them an opportunity. And interestingly, at the other end, Toolin's up the front now. So maybe she's like the goalies, doing one quarter one way and one quarter the other.
I think she gets to pick and choose. one sub at the back, one in the middle, one at the front.
The Asian Dragons win it again through the press. Queenie Blakelock there barking instructions. She's better put the lid down shortly because it's going to be coming in fast from the Asian side. Now Belinda Smith, Julia King in ultimate control at the back for the Asian Dragons. Not under a real amount of pressure, and I'm sure they're happy just to keep this possession here between the two of them. Pacifica, you can't slide, you're down 2. There we go, Toolin's up, and they're going to try and get into some action here. Belinda Smith coming forward. Someone stop her. Yep, they are going to get the free hit.
And that Scar that stopped her.
Yeah, it was Hallie. But again, that's the one there from Lorna that you'd just love to see her throw.
Yeah.
And let's ask, can Michaela, can Toolin, can somebody up there run it down into the corner? But instead, they've turned it over through the press again, and the Asian Dragons putting on real pressure. Is that Zoe rolling out near the back now for Pacifica, having to do some defensive work.
You almost want to see Lorna, I feel like she does look for it, but it's just she's looking in the wrong way. I feel like she needs to look across the grain to try and find, because Bailey's wide open on that far end.
Yeah, and it is the one difficult thing with having that back 3 and those outside defenders so wide is, she can't even carry in a direction to maybe open that up. So it just becomes difficult for her to change those angles when the passes are so far away.
Those Asian women have come in real tight on their marking as well, really making it look like she doesn't have that many options.
Yeah, and I think that's the key of what Jess and Jules bring to this team. They direct the traffic in their press or their midfield slide that they've got in behind it, and it's making life really difficult as Russ comes forward, is it, or Alice? Penalty corner it's going to be. We'll see it on the replay. I couldn't quite tell who it was, but she ended up on the deck.
Lucy Russ.
Was Lucy Russ. They're both having a conversation there, Alice and Russ, about where to be, but the Asian Dragons now. So we'll see. That's actually after the whistle went. That's Jess Ellis bringing the ball up for the penalty corner. And now we'll have a look at the bracket here and see what we've got going on. Nothing on the left, 2 on the right, Belinda on the first. And they go to Jess Ellis on the second. Ellis, there it is. Not sure if it took a deflection on its way through. It looks like the pats on the back are going the way of Jess Ellis. The coach listed player. We'll have a look at it from the top. This will be a good angle of it. Against the grain. Little skip. No touch. Just between the two Blacklocks. And that one's going to be debated on the dinner table later, I dare say, between Mirage and Queenie. No debate, though, as it's on the scoreboard. And Jess Ellis adds a third for the Asian Dragons. And just like that, the Asian Dragons perhaps have put one hand on the trophy here. And away comes Alice, still going. And cleaned up there by Lorna Charlick. Just no answer at the moment out of this defensive end for Pacifica. Not through lack of effort, but man, they're making things difficult for themselves. We see a little overhead in there to Zoe Takamata. Zoe looking. And Ruby Jane can't pull that one in on her reverse stick. And we'll see. This is the PC, how it came there. So yeah, just that stick on the legs tackle there from Emmy Arledge for Pacifica. That's how it went. Lucy Russ getting up and active now. Belinda Smith. And Shane Garcia loves that little touch pass in the midfield. Trying to drop on her. And that's a great pass. Botting gets the first one. Alice and Queenie doing the good work. Oh, she might have pulled up a little lame there, Queenie. Was slow to get up after she got out pretty quickly. And now Alice, the goal scorer, linking up though. It's not one of those touch passes. That's the good old-fashioned mistrap. As Alice is still going, Zoe Alice. And Lorna has had enough. She wants a breather. And unfortunately for her, it hits the goal 3/4 of the way down the turf. She would have liked to see it down into the corner. You see this replay. This is that shot there. Well saved, like I said, by Queenie, getting nice and low quickly. And now come forward here. Love this from Toolin, putting some real effort in on Julia King. Keeps it in. That's incredible from Toolin Pritchard. Can she muster some magic for the Pacifica team? No, she passes it to Lily Botting. And now the Asians 3 against 3, and they hold it up through Monet Garcia.
I think that's one thing in this game. The Pacifica girls are just waiting for it to come to them. They need to be more, jump in front and actually go to the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. They probably got away with one a little bit there. Lorna and Hallie both just kind of waiting for the whistle to blow, and it didn't, so they just bailed it out to the sideline. And this Asian side now well in control. 3-0. You never want to close a book before you finish reading it, but I dare say the lead is almost insurmountable now for Pacifica. This Asian team showing they can control and showing that they could be our 2025 grand final winners in the women's section of Heritage Hockey Tournament. Hallie Skara going to work her way out. Only to the 25-yard line. Alice has been immense. So too King on the ball. Isabella Ing.
Eva Sexton.
Yeah.
It up.
And she's 1v5. Beats one. So there's 4 more.
Finds a free hit and
We're
a
going to
card.
get a card. Oh, yellow card. It's a rough one. It's probably their first mistake of the entire game, the Asian Dragons, and she's going to have yellow there, Belinda Smith. So the job gets a little easier here for Pacifica. And blue card, so they're going to double up here. Stoppage in play. Pacifica have played their blue card, which means the Asian Dragons are going to have to drop another player. And I wouldn't be surprised if in about 3.5 seconds the Asian Dragons use their blue card at the same time to try and level things or get closer to level. It doesn't look like it immediately. Maybe they're Dragons, they like playing with fire. And they'll play 10 on 8 here for a little bit. Blue card and yellow card for the Asian team. And Jules, well, she can probably do this for 5 minutes, to be fair. Yeah, no, that one's going to go to Pacifica. So I'll just double check, but I don't think they played the blue card, the Asian Dragons team.
No, they didn't.
I think they're just going to run it here. White knuckle it for 5 minutes, 11 v 9. And they've got the penalty corner here. Perhaps rather fortunately, Evan Nicol, I think, was getting a little bored down his end. Yeah. Have a little bit of excitement. We'll see that here from Ruby Jane. That tackle from Lily Botting. Yeah, perhaps straight over the back line was the question. Yeah, so it is 11 on 9 at the moment. 11 players for Pacifica and 9 for the Asian Dragons. So a 2-player advantage thanks to the yellow and blue cards. And let's see if Pacifica can finally strike through the penalty corner. They get it. It's going to sit there. And the trap was just messy at the top there. They tried to pull, I think it was Emma Grossmuru onto it there, but untidy at the trap. They did finally get a bit of possession, but no real shot coming. And now Shuku Morimoto just clears one over the back line with the left boot. Real opportunity here. Pacifica, they need at least 3. But they need 1 to start. And Zoe Takamata forced to come out to the back here. Megan Teliai That's not going to do it. Lily Botting wins the free hit, and they'll walk off it here, take their time. The Asian Dragons. And Julia will feint to come forward, and she'll go around in circles a little bit before opting out, and now I think she's kicked that one. And now Pacifica, the clock's winding down. Can they salvage something here? Heavy touch. And lovely skill on the way out there. Still going.
Katie O'Connor.
O'Connor, down she goes.
Gets it back.
Oh, I thought she might have won one a little earlier, but it's turned over, and Ruby Jane can only kick it to touch on the opposite side. Garcia looking to enter the field for the Asian Dragons, and with just over 5 minutes left. Julia King, I thought she was coming over for a sub. She's actually come over to tell someone that they want to use their blue card now.
Julia would never want to sub.
No,
you can run for days.
That's it. I was confused to see her running in this direction. So I think she's run over because they don't have a coach on the sideline. Of course, Jess Ellis, the listed coach, on the field as well. Julia King out there too. I think they just came over to confirm that, yes, they potentially want to use it. We'll see if it does play out that way.
I just saw you got Jess Ellis as coach and then Julia King as the manager.
Yeah, so there you go. That's how you do it. And there's the stoppage. And I can almost bank that they're using their blue card now that there's about 5 minutes left. Yep, there it is. And blue card being played by the Dragons. So I wondered why they didn't play it straight away, and it's just because they were waiting for that final 5 to then find some sort of advantage potentially after their one expires. So it's 10 v 9 at the moment. 10 for Pacifica with the one blue card, and 9 for the Asian Dragons. There's Twila McDiarmid on the sideline.
Fanning herself.
Yeah, using it to cool off. We've seen that before.
I think every person that's come off that blue card has used it as a fan.
Yep, and the Asian Dragons, well, they'll see some more of the clock disappear for their yellow and blue cards through the penalty corner. There they are at the moment. Belinda Smith had yellow. We'll see this replay here. Lisa Zhu with the entry just gets up on Lorna Charlick, and now no Belinda Smith, so it's going to have to be all Jess Ellis on the bracket, and they almost force her to go up there alone.
It's not like they're trying to set up a second bracket, no one walks there.
There's not many of them. Couple on this right side, and Julia King as the injector. This one's going to go to Alice, and Alice is going to be run down by Bailey Newman. We spoke about that in some earlier corners. She gets out pretty quickly, Bailey.
She's got the speed.
Yeah, would have loved to see some sort of variation. The one thing we did see from Bailey, she doesn't stop.
No.
So maybe you could drag or play a 1-2 past her, but it doesn't really matter at this point for the Asians. They're up 3-0. They didn't want to commit more numbers to it than they needed to. And a little tussle in the shadows there. Going forward is Zhu, and good tackle from Ruby Jane. Belinda Smith's back on the field, so the yellow card is done, and if we can count up, I'd say that blue is probably at the same time. So Belinda Smith back on the field, and their blue card is back on the field as well. So the Asians are back to full, and now they'll finish the game with the advantage, 11 v 10. Pacifica, they'll have to leave theirs for the remainder, and though thought we were going to have an opportunity there for Eva Sexton.
Bailey Newman actually reminds me, this is going to make me sound real old, but she reminds me of me when I was younger. Tori and Hannah actually used to call me Little Miss No Breaks because I just ran and I didn't know when to stop and didn't know when to calm down.
And she's overrun it there. Yeah, I'm sure you're so old, Jazz. Look, probably never seen a grass hockey field.
I actually haven't.
Looks the over. About 2 minutes left. Our clock on the screen is a little bit out. We've got 2 minutes left on the game clock. And Pacifica, they get a cheer. They get a cheer for earning a sideline hit.
It's the support that counts.
And there's another one. Bailey, can she find her way through? They'll get a free hit just outside the dots, and Bailey takes it quickly. Puts it under the foot of Julia King. Remember, they're without a player here. Pacifica down to 10 for the final 90 seconds of this one.
It's a lot of red there.
Yep, a lot of red. And it's going to be celebrations for those in red. Ali Scara trying to get through. Belinda Smith cleans up. Jess Ellis. In fact, it's not Alice. Alice is cruising out the back. Letting the young ones do the work. And happy to see seconds off the clock. We're under a minute here. Pacifica, do they have one shot to throw at this Asian team? The name's already engraved on the trophy, but can they show us a little bit of fireworks to finish? Here we go. Bailey Newman. Sometimes a little too fast for her own good there, and that's exactly what happened. Run out of space on the turf. Shuku Morimoto, well, she'll have her first touch of the ball for this quarter. And via the pass back to Julia King. And that will be enough. The hooter will sound. The Asian Dragons have done it 3-0 here over New Zealand Pacifica in our women's gold medal match. You see them running out there. There's not many of them to run. A couple on the bench mob, and they're out there congratulating their teammates. What a game. What a way to finish Heritage Hockey 2025. The Asian Dragons, in their second year at the tournament, get it done. I mentioned in the build-up they had to win a penalty shootout over the Punjab Warriors yesterday just to get here, but then put on an absolute clinic against this Pacifica team who, realistically, Jazz, just had no answer for the pressure, no answer for the high press, and no answer in attack. They'll be disappointed, the Pacifica team, riding a high. They got their win yesterday and were coming in loud and proud. They had the support of the locals, but they just couldn't really get anything going there today.
Yeah, no, obviously the Asians, as I said before, did their homework. They knew what they had to do. They went out and did it. It's nice that the Pacifica girls, you saw them fighting till that last very second. Obviously, they always come in hot. They never give up, and it's just kind of what you love to see from that team.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see the teams go through their final high fives, the last ones for the weekend, the last ones for tournament, and enjoy these highlights, and I'll catch up with the captains down on the turf. All right, I'm down here on the turf with Hallie Skara, the Pacifica Women's captain. Hallie, tough one for you guys today. Come up short against a really incredible New Zealand Asian group. How proud are you of the girls, and any last messages to them and to your fans?
I couldn't be more proud of our girls. We went out there, we put all our fight into it, put all our heart into it. Honestly, these girls, they're my sisters, they're my family, so I'm proud of them regardless. But yeah, next year maybe take home the trophy.
There it is. Well, thank you so much for everything. Great weekend for you ladies. A little bit short, but we'll see you again next year.
Will do. Thank you.
Awesome. Alrighty, and running in, she's super excited, our captain for the New Zealand Asian Dragons. Izzo, excellent game from you guys. You look like you were in control the whole time. What do you guys put that one down to?
Honestly, fun, enthusiasm. I don't know, we just have such a good vibe amongst ourselves, and I think we just focused on having fun, kind of adding our own little bit of flair to the game, and I think it really helped.
And how is it to have the experience of the likes of Jess, Jules and Belinda in behind you?
Unreal. Like, everyone knows them, their household names. Like, you cannot be more grateful to have such an experienced group of people behind you, supporting you all the way. And
last thing, a last message to your girls, those that helped you get here, perhaps the supporters or those watching at home from the Asian team.
Just thank you. I think we've got girls who have flown in from the uni holiday break, and just so thankful to all of them. They're amazing supporters, awesome. Everyone has just been unreal, so thank you.
Well, congratulations. Go and celebrate with the team. Enjoy the rest of it. Have fun with your team, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. That is our women's final, and it's the end of tournament now. Done and dusted for another year, 2025. Our winners, the New Zealand Asian Dragons in the women's section, and the New Zealand Indian men go back to back in the men's. That's 2025 wrapped up. Make sure you tune into all the replays, highlights and everything on the New Zealand Heritage Hockey YouTube. But other than that, we'll be back in 2026, and we'll see you then.
Thank you.
And we're out.